Hello, everybody. It's Jason.
Hey there, it's Marnie.
And today is Monday, May the 11th.
It's Monday. It's
Happy Mother's Day. Happy late Mother's Day.
Thank you, Jason. It was a lovely Mother's Day yesterday, for sure it was.
Did you get
Um,
to see your mom?
no, but I talked to my mom. Yeah, so it's kind of like a physically, socially distanced Mother's Day, just with my own family. But right, we're just trying to get used to doing things a little bit differently and protecting the vulnerable populations, which I can't believe to say my mother would be considered elderly, but she would fall in that category. So she's going to hate that I said that on video because now it's going to be up there for everyone to hear. But yeah, but it was a nice Mother's Day. Jason and I actually were kind of sad today, Monday, kind of a bluer Monday, because we were supposed to be doing something today that we both really look forward to every year for the past several years,
Like
right?
5 years we've been doing this.
Yeah, so this week we were supposed to be starting our glorious week of learning and creating with two amazing clinicians, Kathy Melchiotti and Elizabeth Warson, would be embarking us upon an art journey, I guess, this week. We had scheduled art training this week. The entire week they were supposed to be here, and then COVID-19 came and everything kind of got changed.
And I think Kathy Macchiotti is probably the world expert on expressive arts, I would think, in trauma. You know,
Oh yeah, she's
wisdom is just unbelievable. And she's just such a gift, I think, to myself that not only a mentor, but she's also personally really, really good to us. So
oh, she's amazing. She is there's so much learning that has happened from her, through her, over the course of, like you said, you think maybe 5 years. Has it been that long that we were doing this with her? The journey has been incredible.
But
And
Marnie,
what?
tell anybody she might join us next week.
No, I was trying to keep that like under wraps, right? We're really excited and we're like really, really hoping that that happens. But in the meantime, what Jason and I thought when we were talking about what will our week look like this week, we came out of Mental Health Awareness Week last week. What can we do? And so we thought, you know what, we're going to do art this week. This is what we were supposed to do. That was in our schedule to do. And we're just going to carry that on, carry that forward. It's something that we both use extensively in our work when we were in our schools with the students that we support. And really, we have come to utilize art as a very powerful tool, if you will, for self-regulation, for social emotional wellness, for just overall coping, for grounding, I mean, you name it, we use art, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's really that multi-sensory, multi-plastic resource that
Mm-hmm.
so many things that it's beyond sort of almost explanation of
Yeah,
the tool.
you almost have to just really do it. And I think that's sort of our plan today, is to sort of take you all through the power of art in your own self-care journey, I guess. And so
Yep.
we thought that would be sort of our focus this week, and with the hopes of, if Kathy would come and grace us with her presence on our little site here, that would be mind-blowing, honestly. But I think we should get started
Yep.
and maybe do and talk a little bit about the power of art.
Yeah. So one of the first things I think is like art. You need what you need to do the art, right? And I think you can do art with anything you have. You can create with anything you have around. So you don't need everything all lined up. And so we're just going to use what I have and what you have. I have 4 pieces of paper here, and each one of these is a different texture. This one's like very thick. This one's actually really shiny and very smooth. a piece of construction paper. We all know that's kind of, you know, just kind of rough, kind of.
Yeah.
And then then this one has a little texture to it. So each one of these is different. It's a different piece of paper, and it's important for us, I think, when we think about it, is we have to find the materials that kind of work for us, that sync up with us, right?
Yeah, I just have regular old white paper, sadly. I don't have, I think about some of the paper I have in my office at work, and I don't have access to that. So I just have to use just plain old white art paper, which there's nothing wrong with that either, right? But it's
Nothing
like
wrong with that.
what you've got. And then I sort of gathered some of my different mediums that I had accessible to me, which were, I had some Sharpie markers, which I love, and some pencil crayons. This I was sad about because I had pulled them out from my kiddo's school supplies, and she had oil pastels, which honestly, Jason, you know me, I love chalk.
And I love pastels.
Yeah, so I have to deal with the oil pastels, which, you know, it is what it is. And then this is my favorite, which I was so excited that I had with me, which is watercolor paints. So I think, yeah, but if it was crayons, if it was even just pencils, I guess, you know what?
I got the crayons.
There you go. Like, it doesn't have to be fancy schmancy. It's just something. It could be collage too. I mean, art could be
Yes.
plasticine, it could be clay, it could be collage, it could be, you know, it could be layered things with like fabrics or yarn, or like, I mean, it can be, art is unlimited, really, right? What you can use to create something.
Very much so. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think for the purpose of today's little segment, we were hoping to sort of show you what's really important in getting started with using art as a way of sort of grounding or self-care or expression, would be figuring out what you like. Because there's nothing worse than being forced to do art if you can't stand what it is you're using to make art with. Would you agree, Jason?
Oh, I think that here I am playing around with my crayons. And I totally agree. So this piece of paper, I don't think you can see it. Oh, maybe a little bit.
Oh yeah, I do actually. I see the like
Texture.
the grid kind of patterned looking. Yeah, that's neat.
It is neat, but it's certainly not something that I like, right?
Mm.
I don't like those ridges for kind of what I was doing with the crayons. It just, I don't know, it just doesn't really. I like to blend so much stuff that I don't find that this is really something that I don't like this texture. I also don't like the texture of the crayons.
Yeah, I'm not a big crayon fan either. Sometimes the crayon is good to use, but often I struggle with the crayon.
Yeah, maybe it's from being told when.
I like the chalk pastels again. I guess it's because I like the mess, which is surprising because I actually don't really like messy, but I do like how forgiving it feels and how you can kind of create something and then shade it out so that it doesn't seem so defined. Whereas like Sharpie markers, love them for doodling, like them less for creating because it feels really permanent to me when I use markers. Like, if and you know, and I don't consider myself to be, you know, a talented artist. I definitely love art and I love how it makes me feel.
Right.
But, I think I lean more towards the pastels that are chalked, or I like the watercolors just because I love how that feels. And so I think what we think is really important is that you have the opportunity to gather the supplies that you have in your home and then to really explore using those supplies to see what is it that makes you feel really calm and just regulated in the art making, so that, you know, you really become cognizant of how does that tool feel in your hand, how does it feel as you're using it on the paper. You really become focused on the art, the process of art making, and not the product of art making.
And I think that's ultimately the most important thing is, are you doing any art? Are you just talking?
No, I'm watching you. I'm like regulating myself watching you doing art.
It's not the product that's important, right? For me, and for us, it's the process of making art that regulates your body. I mean, art is such a sensory activity, right? It,
Yeah.
it's you're using your mind, you're using your whole body. We're stimulating different parts of our brain in when we use art. The creative energy sort of really stimulates the entire brain, the whole brain.
Right.
So it really is a powerful tool. And the texture, we're touching it, right? I mean, I love to feel the art. It's my hands. That's why I don't like crayons, because they're really hard to mush. But you know,
I like doing art when you really don't have like a set idea of what you're making.
yeah.
Oh, see, that's beautiful. You have a lot of talent, artistic.
I love I love the feel of the paint and that, and when it's touching the paper and the character and the, I don't know, the texture of that. For me, that's very soothing, very relaxing.
I like to always just kind of be surprised by what kind of shapes I create because I don't really know until I start like putting things onto paper. And then I like to kind of explore with colors and sometimes it's really interesting that your mood really does reflect some of the color palette choices that you can make.
Yeah, I can see that.
Sometimes that isn't revealed until like into the art making, right? As opposed to like already deciding I'm going to use this or I'm not. Sometimes it's just, it's really fulfilling to just kind of create without expectation or without, I don't know, an outcome in mind. Because if,
Yeah.
like I said, otherwise I feel like I would be disappointed because my art making, like my exercise doing, is, well, it's a little bit challenged, but I do love how art makes me feel as opposed to
Well,
exercise.
how does it make you feel?
Art makes me feel really relaxed. It makes me feel really hopeful. Actually, it makes me feel very much in the moment as opposed to kind of being overwhelmed with worry or thoughts.
Oh, okay. So it's like when we talked about that grounding, right? That it brings you into where you are at,
Yeah, very much.
grounds you. So you're painting right now.
I am painting. I was so excited when I saw these watercolors because it was unexpected, but it was in one of my bags that I had brought home from work. I didn't anticipate it. And when I saw it, I think I actually squealed because I was not expecting and I was so excited because I love watercolor painting with the students that I would work with in my schools, and my kids love it as well.
Well, and they love it, don't they?
They do, yeah. They also really, really love the watercolor pencil crayons. Those are fun too. I mean, right now we're limited with being able to access things because, of course, we're not going to the store to shop for things like this. But as you said, sometimes you can access things online, right? Or just make do with what you have until we have access to things again.
Yeah. So what are you painting? You're going to show us?
I'm not done yet. I might show you. I kind of like to just keep creating until I'm ready to show, right? And again, like it's the process, it's not the product. So it's more about how it's making me feel right now than what I'm making.
It's kind of weird to be talking, isn't it, when we're doing this?
Yeah, it's actually, this is sort of, I don't know, it's kind of working against the whole process. I think really what we should do is we should stop videoing. We should continue making art. I would like to put on some soothing music and just really enjoy the process of making and creating.
I'm going to show you one more.
Okay.
I
Oh.
found one pastel, a black one. So this paper is a hard kind of a watercolor paper, so it's quite thick. So
Yeah.
it holds up really good. And the pastel, what I like about the texture of the pastel is I like to move the colors with, again, you know, I like the texture of the
Yeah.
smooth and pushing, right? That's what I find very regulating for me. And so I think you're right. I think we should put on some quiet music and spend some time, and maybe we can show our art later on in the week.
I'd love that.
I don't know. That's pretty threatening to show my artistic ability, but
Well, we are like a safe, non-judging kind of environment, right? So I think we make and we feel good and we use art as a way of caring for ourselves. And you know what? It's also a fun thing to do together while you're at home is to just get out the art supplies and put on some music and just create amongst each other in your family.
and
Yeah,
explore
and
different
explore all the
mediums.
different
Just explore playing with it, finding what you really enjoy, and then maybe go back to that and explore it some more. But take time, explore different textures, different mediums. That's exactly right. Just have some fun exploring and discovering what kind of works for you.
I love that.
Okay, everybody,
All right. See you,
go paint
everybody.
a picture. Bye.
Bye.